quit talking. We live.
I want to be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all...
Y'all on?
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming out today. Welcome to the CannaShame Podcast live at the third annual CannaShame. For those of you who are watching via the stream, definitely want you to like and share on all of our platforms. Find us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and the Gram. So definitely take a look out there for us and watch us live. And also go back and see some of our other podcasts. We've had some amazing podcasts over the years, so don't miss out on that information either. I tell you what, how's everybody doing today?
Fantastic, doing great. You know, we out here celebrating, girl.
Absolutely, we have a great mission.
Close it up, right? Time you to, because I've been wanting to tell a dirty joke all day.
Yeah, put it a little bit closer.
Okay. I'm also trying to run away from the speaker. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great day.
It has.
Anybody who knows about planning events knows it's not the easiest thing. It's a lot of legwork, but we are so thankful to be here. We are so thankful to be on this mission, and we are so thankful to have each and every one of you all join us today and party with us and help us can the shame.
Absolutely. But you know what? We're going to just jump right on to it.
Okay. So am I supposed to just introduce this? You can this one
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Don't let my phone real close. Okay. This wonderful, awesome man, his name is Life Griffith. He is the CEO and visionary behind Hemp High-End Music Partners. He is a hemp educator, a partnership broker, former military strategist, a veteran music exec with over 25 years of experience. And during COVID, he was DJing and having house parties. We was jamming, listening to that house music. Okay, he is also a DJ. Okay, I just cut right into that. He has over 25 years of experience in business and entertainment. He is an active member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, music icon and living legend foundation. He holds a Master's of Science degree in business management and education with an emphasis in leadership from the American College of Financial Services. We call them life, other people call them other things. Woo!
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the edification. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for having me on the platform. And I hope that what is shared will allow people to grow and prosper. Yeah.
Always.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's just jump right into
Yeah, let's jump in.
Tell us, how did you get started in the hemp space?
Well, first of all, before I even say how I got started, all praise is due to the ancestors. Thank you for having me, allowing me to live another day to share this small story. Well, as you indicated, I'm a military man, and of course, in the military, there's certain things you can do and things you can't do. So when I got into the military the first time, I was in Los Angeles, and in 1996, they had passed a medical, law, veteran, by the way, who helped put that in motion, So I've been in the game since 1996, striving to understand where we, allegedly the minority, fits into this big scheme of things, something that we've been doing from way back, and they made it kind of an obstacle for us to continue to carry the torch. So I've been learning about the differences of marijuana, cannabis, and hemp. 3 different worlds, one same plant, but a way that they projected it out there. So I've been in it for a while, not just as a user or an abuser, but an advocate of the medicine and the research and data that comes along with it. So been in it for a long while. You know, that's what what made me get more into it is that my young son, well, let me go back for a second, because I gotta tell you the history of this. I'm originally from a place called Belize, Central America. And my grandfather was Mayan. So a lot of us, we're not into the commercialization of synthetic drugs. We go into what we call backup bush, meaning the herbs is what we're supposed to be taking naturally. It's even in the book of Genesis that the vegetation shall be your meat, meaning that plants is what we're supposed to be eating, not dead carcasses or all this synthetic food, processed food. So that history comes from my bloodline, the science of the plants and the things of that nature. So as I was saying, as I was going through my growing pains, my youngest son was diagnosed with cancer, of blood cancer. And that put me in a spell of, I gotta figure something to save his life. And I went right into the cannabis thing and got the cannabis oil, and they wanted to take him away from us and fought them in court and did all this other things, but it was the oil, the cannabis oil, that helped him. And now he's 18 years old. I just put him in college. He's now at the University of Long Beach. You know what I mean? I was just out there walking him into college, and I'm a little sentimental right now about that because I was actually preparing for his demise while I was preparing to help support him. As an addict, not just the industrial, but the benefits of hemp, I never speak on marijuana and cannabis. Why? Because the language barriers, for those who don't understand legalese, kind of confuses the 3. So when I speak of this plant, this God-given plant, for all of you out there, if you ever look on the Egyptian monument, the pharaohs are holding it in their hand, which is really the tree of life. So because of that, the situation I went through with my son and also my fellow veterans, it made me kind of go on this mission, and that's what made me get involved in it. Yeah. Sorry for the long wind.
That, and I know you, and I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't really speak on a lot of my personal stuff, but we as men, we go through a lot. So same as women, and we never talk about it. And I really feel that this plan allows us to be free in that expression because we have a lot of people who are in pain, that are suffering quietly. And this plant opens you up to express what you're dealing with and hopefully to save a life. You know? So that's what it is.
I love that. I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you talked about a lot of deep things.
Yes. Well, that's life, right?
Come on now. But I want to know, you've seen the evolution. You said you started in 96.
Yeah.
So it's 2023.
Yeah.
You've seen the evolution.
Yeah.
Where do you think we are headed in the next couple of years, not only in Georgia, but nationally and internationally? Well,
as we all know, this plan's been around for thousands of years. It ain't going nowhere, but we're going somewhere if we plan it out right. Where I see us going is that we have to have people really working together. We have too many, and I'm going to say this direct to all of you out there. You got to be careful of who, what, when, where, and why in this game, right? You have a lot of people who are snakes in the grass slithering around with a double-edged tongue, right? And although they may not be venomous, they still are cold-blooded in this game that we're in.
Did y'all hear those bars?
So you got to be mindful of that first and foremost. And where we're going, if we do it right, legally, as my brother mentioned earlier, the legal plug, right? If you speak on legalese and you speak in the language of those who understand the language, now we have something to talk about. But if you're talking about what you think your rights are in this country, this business called the United States, you do not have rights as a minority person. You have privileges, and they can be taken. And we've seen that here in Georgia, in other states, counties, across the globe. We're seeing some who are being praised for what we've been doing all along and going to jail for. So the biggest thing is that the kumbaya, excuse my expression, that kumbaya shit, that shit is not it. What you got to do now, you got to get in those books and speak the legal language, and then get with others who understand the language. And then now that the fact that they are about to pass the so-called law to get us with the Banking the Safe Act, which was passed through one house, now it's got to go to another house, which basically means that they're going to monopolize the whole thing, which they've already tried to do, right? With these enormous amount of application fees with no guarantee and all this other nonsense that they be doing. The other thing you got to keep in mind is you got to know your legal status or status, depending on who you think you are in the game. Everybody want to be in charge, but the people that's in charge, you don't see them. They're behind the shadows, and they're pulling the strings for the puppets in front. You understand? So we have to get into those books, and we got to understand what happened in the early days of hemp reform to understand where we're going to be tomorrow for the transformation of hemp tomorrow. And hemp has 3 acronyms according to me. So let me break that down before we move on. Hemp in one sense is high-end music partners. High don't mean get high, it means the standard of living through sound, because the plant sings. The plant has a conversation if you know how to talk to it, right? Then it has another meaning, helping educate misinformed people, right? Because you got to know how to educate them on their level. Despite you master degrees and PhD holders, try not to go over people's head. Get in their head so they can get ahead with you. And then the last thing, right, when you're dealing with hemp, I said it was 2, right? There's one more. So after you heal everyone musically with a purpose, which is what I do through sound, right? This is why I created hemp. Because if I couldn't speak to you this way, I know if the frequency of my music hits you and you are now medicating yourself with hemp, you're at a higher level. Hence my motto, creativity on a higher note. That makes sense? Yeah. Salute the Vandals, right?
So, and I know you've been in this game for quite some time. So, what are some of the pros and cons of being a hempreneur?
That's a very good question. What is a hempreneur? I mean, you got to first be a hempologist to be a hempreneur, right? And hemp, as we know, is industrial. That's the industrial side of this thing here, despite the CBD and all the other stuff that they're dealing with now. But hemp has been around since day one. The Bill of Rights was written on hemp paper. The Constitution, hemp paper. At one time, it was legal to grow hemp. Our presidents, Jefferson and George, they grew hemp like it was nothing. And it was mandated that you grow it, right? A lot of people don't know that history, but we got to go through the history to be a hempreneur. You have to understand the history first, as I said. So what is the pros and cons of a hempreneur? First, you got to really know what you're talking about. We got a lot of people who ramming on, but when you get to the real nitty gritty, which is the finance of the matter, they shortchange, right? The other part, you got to figure this thing out in terms of hemp. It is a difference when you speak hemp or marijuana or cannabis language. As I said, those are some of the barriers that our people have. So all they see is the plant. They don't see what goes into growing. They don't see what goes into curating. They don't see what goes into cultivation. They don't see the process. They just want the outcome, which is getting high in the name of recreation when it should be in the name of healing, right? And I think the other thing we have to understand the pros is you gotta know the business. You gotta know, and this is a business, it's a money maker. But how do you make your money if you don't understand the science of finance, economics, how it really works, especially in a world of corporate people who only know numbers. They don't want to care about what you went through. What does the numbers say? What does the data say? Matter of fact, what do you say when it's writing the check? Can you write the check so we can? So that's reality. The other part is I'm talking about those that are considered minorities. We got to get off this high horse of being individualized and start to move in a collective force. Power is not who you think you are. Power truly is when you come together for a common power without saying a word, right? So that's the pros and cons to me as an entrepreneur, right? Because you're in it for business, you're in it for profit, but you can have a profit loss if you're not dealing with the right people. And sometimes it's us that's not the right people for us at times. Not always them. We already know their agenda. But we got a lot of people got their own personal hidden agendas, and you got to be able to know what that is early so you don't fall into that trap. And we find that in this game, there's a lot of people falling into that trap. And unfortunately, they're laughing at us and going to the bank while we still trying to collect crumbs. So that's the pros and cons. I hope it wasn't too long-winded.
Oh, no, that really explained everything, and you had some very good points in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely understanding business, number one. You can't go into business if you don't know what it means to be a business owner.
Right.
You don't understand the finances, and
Right.
also you talk about understanding the product itself.
Right.
What you're actually selling to
Right.
people, you need to know exactly what that product does,
Yes, ma'am.
how it heals, how it helps, the science behind it, even down to the soil that it's grown in.
Right, the hydroponics, the soil, the nutrients, all of it, you gotta know at least something so that when you're having a conversation with those who do know, they know what you're talking about. They're very important.
That's very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate you bringing that out.
Yes, ma'am.
Put the mic closer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely appreciate you bringing that
Yes,
out. Because of course, you said it's not only that, working with other people.
Yeah, it's,
Being mindful of who you're working with.
yeah, you gotta be careful. Like I said, I've tried to, when I was doing a nonprofit for over 7 years called Cannabis Solutions, again, educating our veteran community. But there's a lot of lack of support in that area when you're not knowing who to go to and who's really there for the cause, and they're just there because, right? So it's important to know who you're working with, who you're working for, why you're doing this. If it's just for self-aggrandizement or is it really to serve others? I'm in it for the service of others. I don't care about all the extra hoopla that comes with it. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that what saves my son's life, what helps me with my own medical ailments, and it maybe help someone else. And that's what it's about for me.
And that's a great mission, though.
It is.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of us got into this industry, because of that.
Health
You know,
issue.
before I had it, I was a CannaShamer.
Well, most people are.
Yeah, but of course, it goes back to upbringing. You know what you were taught.
Exactly.
You didn't know, but when
Exactly.
you know better, you do better.
That's what they say.
Yeah, and so learning more about the plant, but basically through having to learn about it.
Right.
You know, and that's what my hope is that people would get to know about this plant before they actually meet this plant.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's one of the parts of advocacy for me, and education is key. And
Without
I love
question.
what you said too earlier about what you said about is helping to educate.
Helping educate misinformed people.
Right, and there's so many misinformed people out there, especially when we talk about this.
Without question.
Yeah, because they don't study it.
No, they take it on face value, what they see on TV, what they heard from a podcast, not this one in particular, but others that really never just took the time to really understand the nature of this, not movement, this way of life.
Mhm.
Right, because it's a lifestyle and a way of life. As you see, I'm hemmed out, even to my socks. Right?
see
And I will coordinate and show you my underwear, but that may be too much. You know what I mean? You know?
And it comes down to the socks.
Yeah, to the socks. You know what I mean? To the socks.
So, I mean, how does having music partners promote?
That's a good question. One is we just finished doing an event called Hypnosis Stimulated in 5 Points area of Atlanta the other day. So we promote based upon the theme. Hypnosis is kind of like when we say hypnotic. Well, hypnosis was played on that, and I added extra piece to it, and I'll send you a digital flyer. I'll send you 3 types. The first, the second is like, here we come, and the third, we here, and hope that you be here. So again, there's a lot of it's been word of mouth. You know, Hemp is a consultancy partnership type of company where we create partnerships. We just created a partnership with a company called Highway Hemp Vodka out of Texas. They just sponsored Hypnosis, but we have them on board now. And what we're trying to do is to show you how far this plant can really go. So the first thing I started doing with the company is just doing events, which is what I've been doing around LA, even in my homeland in Belize. I was the first educator to teach hemp in my homeland. And we have folks that are there striving to do certain things, but Belize, like any place else, you got to know the right people. You got to understand what you're doing. You just don't just pop up in there and think it's going to work. So it's the same thing here with what I'm doing with hemp. I didn't just pop up here. A lot of people don't know or didn't know that I was a music executive for a very long time, creating labels, working with a lot of the artists that you know out there. When I came to Atlanta, they thought I was just some new guy off the strip. No, this used to be my stomping ground in music. You know, Greg Street and all these guys that you might heard and know of, they used to play my records, right? So I know these guys personally, but I never speak on those things because this is not about what I did then, it's about what I'm doing now. And that's what I hold fast to. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's next for you?
Well, we just finished doing Hypnosis. We're getting ready to do another event coming up on October the 5th. Little throwback at the Pop-Up Cafe, because another thing about music, we got a lot of, excuse my expression, a lot of garbage out there. So what we try to do is give you a place where you can come and be free. So we're going to be playing 80s, 90s, 2000 music on that day, the Throwback Thursday, October 5th. And then we got another event called Halloween on October 22nd. For those that are caught up in the costume thing, we're going to do the house music, but on another level. And then the next thing after that for me is I have some major stuff going on. I'm not at liberty to speak on it right now. And I try not to speak on it. I'd rather let you see it. And then we can have a conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And looking forward to what you have coming up.
Thank you.
That you can't talk about right now. That's going to be something very exciting. And
It is. We've been working on it now. Me and my associates and colleagues have been working in it now for about a year and a half. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But just know that it's going to be some real different hemp shit. Excuse my expression. But it's going to be, you're going to be hempified with it. And we are happy that we have it in motion. And I'm looking forward to providing that service to the people. Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Now you're going to put your hemp flavor flag on.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Looking forward to that. You always want something different.
Yeah, the experience. You know, this industry is about the experience, right? When you go into an event or you meet a person, you don't want to feel like you're not in tune. You want to feel like you are there and that you feel a part of a bigger picture. And so that's what we strive to do. Me and my son, this company is a father and son company. Yeah, my son Malik. And I put it together with him because I felt that a lot of us as fathers, we don't do a lot of stuff with our children. And when it's my time to say goodnight for the final lap, I want to be able to say I did something with my child or my children. So, you know, I have some big plans, along willing ancestors willing. It'll all come to fruition. And just being with the right people, with the right attitude, and with the right know-how will get me to the right destination, I think.
That's amazing. That is wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
I tell you what, it has been wonderful having you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you
I
coming.
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. Thank you to the CannaShame Podcast team, and Erica and everybody. I appreciate you having me. I hope that what I said makes sense. Can I give a shout out? So I want to give a shout out to the Canna Media Collective. They sponsored my hypnosis event. Mike Lawson, he did that the other day. To the legal club that's in the building, congratulations to Stanley Atkins for getting his award. To all those who participated in today's affairs, the DJ, the bartender, the other bartenders as well, the hemp and cannabis tenders, we appreciate you. And I wish y'all continued success. This is a wonderful platform. I've seen you guys when y'all started, and I know it wasn't easy, a lot of moving parts in this thing here. But you're here now. I hope that those in the audience, please subscribe, give us a check mark, and tell everybody about the CannaShame Podcast so there'll be no more shame, only the aim for greatness. So thank y'all so much for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
Oh.
Okay. We got the history, we got that history
We
thing.
do have the history.
Yeah.
She has some of the history on it, because of course, understanding that CannaShame is not just a podcast, it's a movement, it's a mission. And there's a reason why we actually have CannaShame Awareness Day and why it's on October 1st. So there's some reasons behind that. So Yolanda, did you want to
Yeah, yeah, I got you. All right, I'm gonna go through these slides.
Somebody was asking
Here you
about
go.
that. The
Here you go.
10-1, the 10-1.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Here you go. Here, come on with this one. I got that one live. Hello. Okay. I'm trying to share my screen and stuff like that. Something's going on with my slides. However, this presentation will be on the CannaShame Network. Yeah, something's going on with it. You already know how we have to do it over here. These slides will be available on the CannaShame Network, but this day right here on October 1st, 1937, Harry Anslinger. Yeah, there's a song that's gonna be dropping. We dropping a song in a couple of weeks as soon as I get somebody to get on that track. Because I might used to be a music major, but I'm a little old now, a little rusty. So, but as far as, I don't know why my stuff is not sharing. However, Anslinger was over I'm trying to pull up my stuff. Okay. Harry Anslinger, he was actually appointed in 1930, just as the prohibition of alcohol had ended. In 1930, at the age of 38, Anslinger was appointed the founding commissioner of the Treasury Federal Bureau of Narcotics. 1937 Marijuana Tax Act went into effect on October 1st, 1937. And see, this is one reason why we went ahead and said, we deem this day CannaShame Awareness Day, because we're taking back what they were going ahead and putting on us, because he actually gained momentum in the propaganda from multiple people, including the school system. That's including Reefer Madness. Reefer Madness was actually, if y'all go look it up on YouTube and just watch the trailer, Reefer Madness, and basically they used this propaganda in the school system. And what they did with the school system, there's an issue with that file. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, multitasking. And ADHD, sorry, it just kicked in. I kind of was purple. Yeah, you go. And with what he did, Harry Anslinger conflated drug use by race and used it to criminalize non-whiteness and create a prison industrial complex. Some of his quotes: marijuana influences Negroes to look at white people in the eye, step on white men's shadows, and look at a white woman twice. Ooh. Reefer makes dark think they're as good as white men. You smoke a joint and you're likely to kill your brother. Marijuana is the most violent drug in history of mankind. Now, this is the crap that Anslinger started. And not only that, there are 100,000, this is another quote right here. There are 100,000 total marijuana smokers in the U.S., and most Negroes, Hispanic, Filipinos, and entertainers. That satanic music, jazz, and swing result to marijuana use. This marijuana case causes white women to seek sexual relations with Negroes, entertainers, and others. Now, these are the quotes. This is the mindset. This is the mentality most of our people are incarcerated because of this propaganda that he came up with. Not only how low down dirty this joker was. If y'all have heard about Billie Holiday, Billie Holiday struggled with a drug addiction that led to her arrest and imprisonment. She was targeted by Harry Anslinger, the head of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. He had her chained to the bed. But now we're going to move further into 1969. I'm almost through. 1969, it was deemed unconstitutional with the Marijuana Tax Act. However, we had another president at the time, Nixon, who was trying to stop the civil rights movement, which the civil rights movement was dealing with. It was a lot of the hippies and the blacks and stuff. They were trying to stop that. And so what happened was, in 1971, the Substance Abuse Act was introduced. And that right there caused cannabis to be a Schedule I narcotic, which right now they're trying to deschedule, reschedule, or whatever they want to say. But that was 1970, which got kicked into overdrive. 1980s with Reagan with the Just Say No campaign. However, in 1996, California Proposition 215, Compassionate Use Act of 1996. My point that I'm trying to make is Harry Anslinger started this. That's why we call him the godfather of the shame, because he pretty much set the world stage to stigmatize and criminalize this plant. And so that being said, and that was his mindset. And later on, he realized, he even made a statement, hey, look, I did this because I was trying to stop this, to operate on propaganda, because they was trying, not only that, there's more to it, the textile industry and stuff like that. So, but other than that, Nixon did some low down dirty stuff too, but we're going to have all this information posted up on our website. I'm going to go ahead and get these slides updated, like I say, so that you all can see all this in the restream. But like I say, thank you, Life, for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
House music. Yes, Lord. And thank everybody for coming out. And I'm done. I'm going to try and get this going.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Yo, for giving us the history and letting everybody know the reason why we have 10-1 and why it's on this specific day. Going back to that Marijuana Tax Act of 1937, taking the shame back, I would say. So we're just counteracting what they put into place. Thank you for giving us that information. And yeah, definitely very important. And that's what you were talking about when you were talking about in business, know the history. Yes. So that's definitely what we here at the CannaShame Network definitely are learning the history, understanding the history, and wanting to spread the history so that people know the reason why this plant was criminalized from the beginning and what they were trying to do with the propaganda. So want to educate people for them to understand more about this plant and to can the shame.
Also, not to cut the show, right? But they also know that Harry Anslinger's father-in-law had another important part to it as well. You know what I mean? So when they find out that history, they can understand why he did what he did on the other side. And then more importantly, they understood the medicinal properties of the plant, right? because at that time, LaGuardia, if you remember Mayor LaGuardia in New York, had did a research paper on marijuana and found that there was no issues with it. And they kind of pushed that to the side, you know what I mean? But if you go back and study the history, you'll see the whole report. This is marijuana had no negative effects. It was all medicinal. And they didn't want that because, you know, the pharmaceutical industry plays a very important part in that too. So
Yes, it is.
just make sure you study your history. Can I give one more shout out?
Go ahead.
If you want to follow me, you can go to IG Hemp Partners, HEM Partners, one word. You'll find out what we're doing there, and follow me. You'll see a lot of what's going on in the hemp world. So thank you again.
And you said it's father-in-law.
His father-in-law,
Okay.
right? Read the story about his father-in-law, and then you understand that the trees, hemp paper, the whole thing. Then you talk about another, the father of propaganda, Bernays. His uncle was Sigmund Freud, and it goes back to the Old Boys Network, but to a whole circuit of networks where it all connected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be on that. That's on the slide. I just didn't go.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
there
got
we
you.
go. So you see, I studied my history.
That's right.
Yeah. And we'll sit down and have a conversation, so I can learn a little bit more too. Definitely want to do that.
So thank y'all again. I appreciate it.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are welcome.
We can go ahead and shut it down.
We are.
Yeah, we tired
We
today.
are close. We are at the close
Oh,
of
yeah.
Awareness Day times 3. It's our 3rd annual. And what an awesome day. Awesome. And people from all areas of cannabis space. Music by DJ Disco 100. Woo! Thank you, Disco. And we had our comedian Randy Scott. She was hilarious. Very, very much so. We also had our overcoming the shame section, the CannaShame stories, the cigar pro and more.
Yes, that was great. Thanks, Kyle. We appreciate you telling the story. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you telling the story.
Oh, and Shonda's gonna be on the website. Not to cut you
Yeah.
off. Shonda's is already on YouTube right now to go look at it.
So we do have Chandra Broom that's out there too. You're gonna see her story, an amazing story. It will make you cry. It really would, what she had to go through as a nurse. We'll definitely see that. Also, the presentation of the first CannaShame Awareness Impact Award that was presented to Mr. Stanley Atkins and was sponsored by and definitely just want to give you a shout out on that and just to say this is the first award that we actually have, but it's a kickoff to what's coming next year. So you all stay tuned with us because we have some big things coming up next year with that 4th annual. A lot of changes, a lot of wonderful things that we're putting in right now and start planning as soon as it's over. So we can get ahead of the game. But definitely wrapping up today. Definitely amazing. So, any final words?
My final word again, all praises to everybody's here to listen and learn. Continue to study, continue to make the rounds, make it count. We only got one shot at life. Live your life in abundance. Be with the positive people, leave all the negative stuff alone. Remember, come together for a common cause, because that common cause is common good. And you never know what can do, what a person can do to save a person's life. Head away, the outside.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you all. Truly appreciate that. So, close of the day.
All right.
Close of the evening. Wait a minute, first, before we even start, I mean, I'm not doing virtual, but we definitely go.
Oh, they streaming down at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
Y'all look down at the bottom of the screen.
I want to give a shout out. I want to shout out King Fresh for supporting the movement, supporting what we're doing here, and giving this fantastic debut. I'll shout out Holla at East Atlanta Treehouse for your next event. I want want to shout out Tay. He has come through in the clutch. He is amazing. He's been our videographer. He's been our maintenance man. He has lifted heavy things. Tay, I just want to thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I want to shout out to Yolanda for all of the tech stuff that she has done for CannaShame through this whole season. Y'all don't know what it takes to set all this stuff. It takes a lot, and she does all the graphics and stuff. I just want to shout you out and say thank you for doing all of the technology that me and you don't.
You see, I'm just fiddling around, learning my way. I'm just learning my way. Y'all are on this journey with me. Thank y'all for being on this journey with me, because I'm learning as I go. I'm gonna go to school for it though. Okay, y'all ready? I'm about to end it. Hold on. Let me multitasking.
Follow, like, and share on all of our platforms. That would be Facebook, Instagram.
We on there, but we got to
Hey,
we definitely on Twitch.
Yeah.
And YouTube. So definitely go out there and find us, follow us, keep up with everything that's going on with us. Peace out. Always do.
Okay. All right, now. Okay.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.